So I apologize for the minor technical difficulties. He says it's his fault. I'm not going to go so far as to blame one guy. But I mean, if it's his fault, then so be it. It doesn't matter. We're back. If you got disconnected, I apologize for that. We're going to wander a little bit more in Tomorrowland. Again, the views from the TTA are just, I still call it the TTA, it's the People Mover, but the views from that at this time of night and with Tron in the distance are just gorgeous, right? It's why we talk about this being a favorite land, especially at night, right? Because of the neon, because of the colors. Exactly. Let's take a walk over to Space and Tron. So are you or were you a fan of Tron, both the original and Tron Legacy, which came out in 2010? I know Tron Legacy did not perform necessarily as well as had been expected at the box office, which is why at the time there was supposed to be another movie. Tron was supposed to be a trilogy, the 1982, the 2010, and then a follow-up film, which was greenlit and then pulled back on. Now it's been announced that we are finally going to get that third Tron film. But at the time, Tron Legacy, like the original Tron, did not perform well in the box office. The original 1982 Tron did not do well. Actually, if you listen to the interview from the archives this week with Cindy Morgan, who I actually was listening on the car right here. She's such a pleasure. Like, she's so nice. I love the stories that she tells. But Tron didn't do well. I think it was a confusing story. I think Tron Legacy was a bit of a confusing story. They both sort of suffered the same blessings and problems. They were beautiful films, a little nerdy, somewhat confusing storyline. I think Tron Legacy's biggest weakness is not the visuals, but the script. It could be a little bit confusing for some, which is maybe why it didn't perform as well. But if you just sit and look at it, Tron Legacy is going to be a Disney Plus pick of the week soon. If you're watching when we do the shows, from home live, because visually it's a breathtaking film, and that sort of reflective glass, deep black aesthetic is gorgeous. Let's go into the launch depot, which used to be the Tomorrowland Power and Light Company, because it is all about merchandising. Dark Helmet had it right. And I actually really dig the merch. I walked in here before. So I love, again, it sort of has this bright aesthetic. It's beautiful in here. So what is this? I've seen it in the boxes. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Remember this? And then you can play with multiple players, and then you pick kind of what color team you want to be. So you can pick red, and it'll all turn red, and then it'll count you down 3, 2, 1, and then you can go right, go left. This is accelerate, and then this is brake. So yeah.
So I can kind of pretend that I was on a light cycle the same way I did in 1982 on my BMX bike. Yeah. Thank you. I dig the Flynn shirt. Let's take a look at some of the merchandise. So I love the fact that they recreated the 1982 versions of the light cycle and some of the different characters. So you see there's Tron, there's Ram. I'm actually tall enough to reach this. Here's Flynn and his yellow light cycle. I still have my originals. Do you remember? You might remember this. Do you remember the cars and the motorcycles that had the zip tie? You pulled the ripcord out of the top of it and it made the wheel spin. Those are the ones that I still have.
I used to have that.
I actually kind of dig this. It's nothing but a little piece of plastic. It's a little piece of plastic. It's $10, but I dig, because what kid in 1982, or maybe it was just me, got a Frisbee and pretended, we ran around our backyards pretending we were Tron. I swear I've actually dated a girl at least once in my life. Oh, look at that. Wait a minute. That's actually really cool. Wait a second. Oh, that's kind of neat. So there's little light cycles that actually move on top of a tumbler, which is, it's not inexpensive. It's $27.99, but that's pretty neat. And it's like hefty. Like that's a solid tumbler, yeah. All right, so what is this thing called? I'm gonna. This is your pop quiz. What is this thing called? What are these machines called? Those of you watching at home, what is this called? What is this thing? I'll give them a second since it's on delay. It's a recognizer. They're recognizers. Oh, this is actually interesting, right? So the brand is Reaction Figures, but it sort of looks like the Kenner font. So it's made to sort of look like a retro figure, while not being an actual Kenner, may you rest in peace, while not being an actual Kenner figure. But it is those sort of similar 3.5-inch. There's Cindy Morgan as Yori. So here are the Magic Bands, which are limited, but obviously still very much in stock. These are $64.99.
Because I have 30. But I just don't get money.
So they're not lit up here, but I do know that the little light cycle and the sort of the plain figure do light up, and I think these are less than $20. These are $19.99. I do kind of dig that. I could never pull it off. I couldn't pull it off, but I sort of dig that. So these are sort of like, it almost feels like neoprene jackets that I assume light up because they sort of have this, or maybe it's just a reflective material. What's the price of that? $99.99. The question I have is, where do you wear it? Right? So where are you wearing this to? One, because we live in Florida. Oh, it does light up.
Lights up. Well, you'd wear it at night. On a cool summer evening.
You haven't lived in Florida very long. We don't have any of those. This is about as cool as your summer evenings are going to get. I dig the Tron tumblers. $27.99. So I believe this backpack is built so that you can put, if you buy your identity disc, you can like attach it here and wear it on your backpack. We'll get to the identity discs in a second. This is $54.99. That could be you. So here are the identity discs, which are also Bluetooth speakers too. And from what I understand, you can, I don't know if you have to, you can buy an identity chip that plugs into it. And I'll show you where the identity chips are over there. It connects to the backpack, and then depending on what chip you put in there, it plays different sounds and changes different colors. We're going to ask somebody exactly how that works. But there is a ton, there's a ton. All this over here is all different Tron merchandise. Tron the pop sockets, Tron the pocketbook, Tron the light up keychain. It's really more of like a backpack thing. What guy's going to put this in his pocket and carry his keys around? But there's a ton of different shirts. I counted earlier, there's maybe 10 different pin sets. That's actually pretty cool. I do like the light cycle pin set. That's $34.99. They also have jumbo light up pins, which also glow in the dark. I don't see one that we can look at. Mystery pins, Flynn arcade pins. This one I love. Sort of the retro Bally Midway coin slot. Tron slap bracelets. There's a ton of different pins. I think this is pretty cool. The Game On pin. I haven't been able to figure out what this is.
Oh.
I don't know what this is. Does it light up?
It's supposed to.
It's a light up keychain, but we don't know how to actually turn it on.
That needs batteries.
They call these keychains. This is like the joystick from the old Bally Midway video game, which I'm assuming probably lights up at some point. Or not. It's supposed to light up. Those are cool. These are magnets. I'll show you my favorite thing here, other than the retro identity disc, because I'm not really a big pin person, and then again, there's tons of pins. These are all patches. There's other magic bands that you can get here. But I kind of dig this. This is an old replica of the light up marquee for the old Tron video game. And as someone who spent an inordinate amount of time and even more quarters in arcades as a kid, I dig this. Although I would probably want to buy one from the actual arcade machine. So this is not unique to the parks, but this is actually really cool. It is a replica of the Tron video game, and then there's 3 action figures from the original. It's Tron, Flynn, and Sark. These are cool too. They're magnets, but they're also bottle openers. So they do a little bit of double duty. Oh, look at this. You could do wall. So wait a minute. You can do wall signs But you can do magic bands, cases, ornaments, watch bands. Oh, look at this. Wait a minute. You can personalize the magnets. Wait, no, back. Slow down. Whoops.
I was thinking where that cap we saw, but I think that was much money yesterday for a limited edition. What cap? You know the light cap?
So these are the identity discs, and these are the individual identity chips that you can put in to sort of customize the experience of your disc. These are $14.99 each. And they can also make your own Tron figure. So you can create your own custom Tron figure with your face in it.
No. So if you
Do you remember what this space used to be?
Everybody used to come in here to charge for the phone.
So even before that, this space, and then there was actually, it extended out into that area too. There was a secondary space in there that probably about 10 years ago was closed off. Do you, watching at home, remember what this space was way, way, way back when it was the Tomorrowland Power and Light Company, after it had gone through a refurbishment, probably in '05, somewhere around there. Yes, Keith, it was an arcade. And as an arcade nerd, there was a little part of me that was hoping when this building was covered, before Tron opened, that they were going to open up a Flynn's arcade or some sort of arcade-themed restaurant. So that is going to do it from Tomorrowland. Thank you very much for joining me. I apologize for the dropped signal earlier tonight. I'd love to know your thoughts on Tron. Share it in the clubhouse. And thank you very much for joining me tonight. I will see you again. Will I see you next week? Yes, I'll see you next week. And then again next week on Saturday, we're on the Disney Fantasy. Oh, by the way, the next meet of the month is going to be Friday in Tomorrowland, but the location is going to be changed because the Tomorrowland Terrace is not open. I'm happy I came here today. If you're planning on coming out next week, stay tuned. I'll find a different location. I'll update the event. But that's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you for being here. End of line. See ya.